Good morning, Sarah. Let's check this morning's headlines this Monday. And despite previous deaths and repeated warnings, there's been a number of people treated once again for suspected drug overdoses at music festivals over the long weekend. Let's cross now to our reporter, Kimberly Pratt from 10 News First, who joins us from Westmead Hospital in Sydney. Good morning, Kimberly. What's the latest information you have for us?
Well, Tash, we know that 9 partygoers were transported to hospital from the Rolling Loud Festival in Sydney last night. They are all stable this morning, but we were there as the festival kicked off yesterday, and it certainly wasn't a pretty sight, Tash. We watched as 2 young girls were treated by the emergency response team, and they had to be stretchered off within an hour of the event. So it was some scary stuff down there. Now, this was just one of 3 festivals that was held across the Australia Day long weekend, where the New South Government deployed an emergency response team to help these young people who were in need. And it is a tactic that the government is saying saved these young lives over the weekend. Now, that was on top of a heightened police response where they caught 14 people in possession of drugs. 2 of them were charged with supply, and that included a 17-year-old who was found with 27 MDMA tablets. So it's fair to say this long weekend was a true test of the government's new plan to combat drug deaths at festivals. Tash.
Kimberly, thank you, and we'll have more on this story later on Studio 10 this morning. Checking the news headlines once again this Monday morning, and 1 person has been critically injured and more than 20 others taken to hospital after suspected drug overdoses at various music festivals over the long weekend. Emergency services are being praised this morning for their incredible efforts in saving so many lives, and we understand 14 people have now been charged with various drug offences. Kimberly Pratt from 10 News First is at Westmead Hospital now in Western Sydney. Kimberly?
Well, Tash, 9 partygoers have been taken to hospital from the Rolling Loud Festival in Sydney last night. That's a total of 23 people taken to emergency departments from festivals across the entire Australia Day long weekend. But thankfully, they're all stable. And that's something that the New South Wales government is attributing to their rollout of these emergency response medical teams. Now, they consisted of critical care doctors and nurses on top of the paramedics that are already on hand. And they were there for early intervention treatment for any of these young people that found themselves in trouble and ultimately saved their lives.
I'm asking those young people to reflect on what is being done to try and keep you safe because of your own actions. I'm also asking them to reflect on the fact that I'm absolutely certain, as a father, not just as health minister, that there would have been parents, mums, dads, other family members, friends, wondering whether they would come home from those music festivals.
We'll have the latest details on the developing story tonight in 10 News First at 5.